aha moment was, oh, now we're live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it is 5:15. So welcome to the Township of the Corporation of Bonnechere Valley, our public meeting on Tuesday, November 28th, 2023 at 5:15. We are meeting in council chambers and by Zoom conferencing. The applicant is 2564724 Ontario Limited. The agent is Jonathan Molnar. Being 5:15 p.m., this meeting held by council under Section 34 of the Planning Act is now called to order. I need an approval of the public meeting minutes from November 14th, 2023, please. Moved by Tracy. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Thank you. Members are to state any pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof before items are discussed. Are there any declarations? I see none. This public meeting is to consider an amendment to the Township of Bonnechere Valley zoning bylaw 2022-042, part of lots C, D, and E in part of Block F, Plan 16 in the geographic village of Eganville, located at 99 Victoria Street. The purpose of the amendment is to rezone a 0.2347 hectare lot containing a former church building, Melville United Church, to allow the conversion of the building to a single dwelling. The effect of this amendment is to rezone the property from community facility to residential 1 exception 6. The R1 E6 zone will permit the uses of residential 1 zone, which include a single detached dwelling. It will also recognize the existing building in its existing location and the existing height of the spire as of the date of the passing of the bylaw that implements the R1 E6 zone. If any future additions are proposed, they will be required to meet the setback and height requirements of the R1 zone. All other provisions of the zoning bylaw shall apply. The public meeting is a requirement of the Planning Act. In accordance with the Planning Act, notice must be given at least 20 days before the public meeting is held. Would the clerk please report on the circulation of notice?
On November 8, 2023, a notice was circulated to all property owners within 120 meters of the subject property. It was mailed to the agencies as required under the Planning Act. The notice was also published in the Eganville Leader, and it appeared in the November 8, 2023 edition, and notice of the meeting was also posted on the township website.
Thank you for that. The 20-day notice having been given, I now declare this meeting properly constituted to transact its business. Would the clerk please report on any written comments received?
There wasn't any.
Thank you. Do any members of the public wish to speak to the amendment? Does the owner or agent for the property wish to speak to the amendment? Are there any questions or comments from members of council? Yes, John, go ahead.
The R1 E6, so the exemption portion, is that solely for the height of the spire, or is there another part to the exemption?
I'm sorry, I don't have my...
The spire is mentioned.
Yeah, the information you want isn't in front of me. Erica, is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, that's what, when I discussed with Darrell, that's what he said. Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to give incorrect information, especially if the applicant is in the room or watching. Thank you. Any further questions? This therefore completes the public meeting process. Council will give careful consideration to the arguments for and or against the zoning amendment requested for this property. The bylaw will be brought forward to the December 19th, 2023 meeting of council for consideration of passing. Should this bylaw be passed, a notice of passing will then be circulated as required under the Planning Act, and there would be an appeal period after the notice of passing was sent out of 20 days. Any person wishing to receive written notice of the adoption of the amendment being considered at this meeting must leave their name and mailing address with the township clerk in writing or using the chat function if attending by Zoom. As required by Section 34, 14.5 of the Planning Act, council is required to inform the public of who is entitled to appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal under sections 3411 and 19. Under section 3411, if council decides to refuse an application or refuses to or neglects to make a decision, an application on the application within 120 days of the municipal clerk receiving the application, the applicant or the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing may appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality. Section 3419, not later than 20 days after the giving of notice of passing of the bylaw, the applicant, any person or public body who made oral submissions at the public meeting or made written submission to council before the bylaw was passed, or the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing may appeal to the Ontario Land Tribunal by filing an appeal with the clerk of the municipality. I now declare this public meeting closed at 5:21 p.m. Thank you. This should be a very interesting project. I look forward to it.
Yeah.
Us as well.
When I saw that, I thought, surely somebody isn't gonna try and make a church into a house.
Yep.
All right, so Annette, you'd like us to log off and then log back in?
Yes, please.